This video is the follow-up of my complete full tutorial on Microsoft Copilot for beginners. If you haven't followed the beginner course yet, don't worry, we'll revisit a few of the concepts in this video, but if you want to do the beginner tutorial first, I'll link it up here above or here. In this intermediate video though, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the Copilot unknown features that really feel like cheating. We'll pursue with how you can accelerate your note-taking with Copilot. We'll dive deep into how to automate your tasks with Custom GPTs and how to get the best out of it. I'll then show you how you should really use Copilot in Excel, and all of the features we're going to go through in this video are completely free except the Custom GPT part of it. So you can do everything I'm going to show you with the Microsoft Copilot free version. Now I'll teach you which are the right ingredients for a perfect prompt. If you want to get the most out of Copilot, you should use the following prompt formula: goal, context, source, expectation. A goal is what response do you want from Copilot. The context is why do you need it and who's involved. The source is which information sources or samples should Copilot use. And the expectation is how should Copilot respond to best meet your expectations. Similarly to what we did with the Custom GPT, I will compare a very generic prompt to the left with a very detailed GCES formula prompt on the right. So to the left, we have give me activities to do in Paris, very generic. And to the right, we have a goal, give me a 5 bullet points of the nicest things to do in Paris. We have a context. I am going there with my colleague, making us a group of 4 people, all between 25 and 35 years old. We have our source, base your research on the best reviews from TripAdvisor in the last year. And then we have our expectation. It is for a work-related activity, so I want you to respond in a professional tone. You know, you don't want to get fired because you have a very rude email. We'll click submit on both of them, and we will be able to compare the response of our very generic prompt on the left, and to the right we will have our answer from the GCSE formula. I don't want to get into too much details here, but the main difference between these two activities is that Copilot really understood our source based on the top reviews from TripAdvisor in 2023. Here are 5 highly recommended activities to do in Paris. As you can see, on the left, we also have the Eiffel Tower, of course, but we have very different activities from left to right. If you want to learn more on how to prompt, I have a 10 minutes video up here on the subject. As you might have already noticed, it is really important on how you talk to Copilot in order to get the most accurate answers. So I thought we could go over the do's and don'ts. First do's is to be clear and specific. Also to keep it conversational. And for the third do, I will jump into Excel. It is to give example, and I will illustrate my point here. We are in Microsoft Excel. I have a table with some data. We are selling candies today. Okay, real quick. We have the quantity sold in column 4 here. So we have a table, and I will ask Copilot to create a running sum. So I will click on the prompt here, add formula columns, and it's going to tell me I can quickly add new columns with formulas, select a suggested prompt. So I will ask Copilot, add a column that does a running sum of quantity sold. And let's see what Copilot gives me. And see, I was very vague here in this specific case, and I didn't give any example, but it still worked. If you click on insert column, it actually did work. One thing though I would love to tell you is to be extra careful, because I did this countless times, and it is the beauty when you do a video with AI. It doesn't give you the same answer every time, but what I will suggest is actually this prompt. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger for you, but I will suggest to do this prompt. I want you to add a column doing a running sum, and we will give example. By example, if my first line of quantity sold is 100, I want you to give 100 in this new column. If the second row of the quantity sold is 75, I want you to give me back 175 in this new column. Here we go, we click submit, and it should give me a new column that is basically the same that it just did, because AI is so unpredictable, and it will calculate a running sum. So it is really important that you give him example, because sometimes it's just going to avoid confusion and the AI will generate the right answer most of the time. And see how Copilot is brilliant. It just told me it looks like you already have a column with the running sum of the quantity sold. Is there something else you would like me to do? But of course, we jinxed it with the previous prompt. The other do's are use punctuation, use capitalization. It will just make sure the AI gives you better answer, and be polite as well and provide details. In other words, you should talk to Copilot just like you talk to your mom. Pretty simple, right? As for the downs, it's basically the opposite of the do's, so don't be vague, don't give conflicting instructions. You have a button that you can click to start new conversation. As you can see here at the bottom, you can click on new topic, so make sure you treat it topic by topic. Something that took me a while to understand is that you need to create new topic every time, because let me explain it like that. Copilot is like a little Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, yeah. So he's very, very intelligent. He got fed with a lot of information, all the information on the internet, many, many books. But as soon as you ask a question, you need to give him context. And what it does when you start a new topic is that it resets the context. You need to give context again. Let's say you meet someone on the street. He doesn't know you, right? But if you see him a week after and then another week after, it's going to gather context. But let's say that this person forgets every time that you see him again, it's a new time. He forgets everything between this week. Copilot is exactly the same. It doesn't learn from your behavior except if it's a custom GPT that we'll see later in this video. So you have to reset a new topic to feed information to your Albert Einstein and give him context, like we just saw with the GCSE formula. So make sure you give context to that little Albert Einstein, and then he can take this context and adapt it with all that he knows, that he learned from the books and everything. I hope this is a little bit clearer on how it works. Another very cool feature I want to show you is to use the voice memo feature on your cell phone. Yes, there is a Copilot app, and this is perfect when you want to save time, when you're driving with the kids in the back and you want to talk to the AI. I'm kidding, actually, don't do this while driving, but we'll test the voice memo feature together. I'll show you something pretty cool. So we're just going to click on record, and I will actually use the same example that we saw on how to prompt, the Paris example. Give me 5 bullet points of the nicest things to do in Paris. I am going there with my colleagues. We will be a total of 4 people between 25 and 35 years old. Base your research on the best reviews from TripAdvisor in the last year. It is for a team building activity, so I want you to respond in a professional tone.
A few moments later.
Based on the best reviews from 2023, here are 5 highly recommended team building activities in Paris for your group.
So now you can just swap back real quick to your computer, and you have this prompt in the recent prompt to the right that has just appeared, and you can see on your computer what's going on, and you can go from there and copy paste in your Outlook if you want to draft the email. One feature I wanted to highlight from Copilot that is pretty cool, it is the notebook feature. What's the difference between the notebook and the regular Copilot? The main difference is that it allows you up to 18,000 characters right here to ask any question, while the normal Copilot conversational discussion, let's say, is only 4,000. So let's say I have found a book on the project management and I want to summarize one chapter. The chapter is chapter number 3, the project life cycle phases. I will ask Copilot, could you summarize this chapter from this book? And then when you press enter, it doesn't send. You have to click on shift enter. So it's really a way to take meeting notes, by example, or to actually record from your microphone and ask Copilot to do something with these multiple words. We are going to try it here, and we're going to click submit. I have 8,000 characters, and let's see what kind of work Copilot gives me in the notebook area. Please note, this is very important, that you won't have the history with these chats as you have in the other version of the Copilot conversational mode, let's say. As you can see, the 8,000 characters that I copy pasted from this book I found online on the project management have been summarized in less than 300 words. It can speed up your workflow pretty quick. Could you summarize this video meeting notes, please?
The video provides a detailed walkthrough of a day in the life of Mark.
So let's say I have a video that I want to summarize. I want to take notes from a video. So I will click on this video here using these Copilot unknown features feels like cheating. I am in Microsoft Edge. This is very important for this to work. I will click on the video and I don't have time to watch it. It was a meeting that occurred when I was in vacation and the Zoom call meeting was recorded. I will just click at the top here on the Copilot symbol. I will have my pane that opens to the right, and I will ask Copilot to actually summarize this video. So could you summarize this video? The goal is to get the key points out of it. I want to take notes and share it with my professional team. I will click submit, and you will be flabbergasted of the results here, because I swear this is legit magic. So as you can see at the right here, Copilot is just summarizing my videos into a bullet points format for me to just copy paste and then send to my team. I can hear you now, you're like, but this is you solo doing a video. All right, and it's a short video, right? 17 minutes. So I will show you another example with a longer video. This video, Will AI Destroy Fractional CFOs? Very great video, by the way, from Michael King and Nicolas Boucher, two very influent finance people on LinkedIn, and I will make a new topic. So there is two people talking during this video, as you can see, and it is 40 minutes. I don't have time to go through this 40 minutes video. It was a meeting recorded during my vacation in my corporate world. Let's say I will ask the same thing to Copilot. Could you summarize this video? The goal is to get the key points and share it with my professional team, and you will be once again flabbergasted of the results and the precision of Microsoft Copilot. As you can see, Copilot give me a response. This video features an interview with Nicolas Butcher. So Nicolas the Butcher, it's actually Nicolas Boucher. Honest mistake from the AI here. A finance expert with a significant following on LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. And it basically did a bullet point format of the video once again. And when you click, it actually should bring you to the video timestamps, and it's not even following the chapters, right? And it's stopping at 17 minutes, but you could also ask Copilot what's going on after the 17-minute. Could you get into a little bit more details, so you actually know upfront what's going on in this video and if it's worth watching the whole thing. So here I asked more details to Copilot. I said, what's going on after the 17 minutes? Could you get into a little bit more details? Because it was stopping at the 17-minute here. And as you can see, as I click on these title, my video goes to these timestamps, which is pretty cool. You just have to click and it gets you there, and it says what's going on after the 17 minutes. It starts with the AI limitation in finance, which we previously had, but there was very little details. Now we have more details. The conversation acknowledged that AI currently has limitations processing financial figures. It talks about the integration of AI with other tools, which we didn't have anywhere here in the very small summary. And it talks about the future of AI in finance. In 3 minutes, I legit got a summary of my video. And I can hear you now. You're like, but Dave, if I have a very, very private meeting in my Zoom call, I don't want to upload it to YouTube, what do I do? I got you covered here. I am going into YouTube Studio. This is my personal YouTube channel, the Piggy Bank Accountant. By the way, you should subscribe to this channel if you want more content on Microsoft Copilot and Microsoft Excel. So I am in my YouTube Studio. You can make your own YouTube channel. It's free. It just requires you a Gmail account. And I have some video here that as you can see, most of them are public. But I have this video that is listed, or actually I should say unlisted, and I could even put it private. Unlisted means it is not available to public on YouTube unless you have the link. So if you don't share your link, nobody will have access to this video. So you see me coming here, you do a Zoom meeting or Teams call with your team, you record it, you upload it to YouTube, and then you put it in YouTube as unlisted. You have a 50-minute meeting with 2, 3, 4 people. You don't have time to take notes, or you just say, I will listen to the call without taking notes. I will take my notes after. You upload it to YouTube as unlisted, and I did the test for you. Once again here, I made a practice for a live stream, a live session I was giving on LinkedIn about Microsoft Copilot. Once again, that's all I do. And here you go. I will do the same thing to prove you that it's worked. It shows here unlisted, and then I will just, could you summarize this video? And once again, you know what's gonna happen. It is going to summarize the video in a very detailed way, so I don't have to watch it all. I'll teach you how to create a custom GPT in Microsoft Copilot in order to automate your repetitive tasks and do them faster. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So in other words, we will kind of give custom instructions to Copilot. So when we have a repetitive task to do, like writing emails multiple times, we don't have to always give back the context to Copilot. So I am on Copilot here, and as you can see at the right, we already have some Copilot GPTs. If I click here on See All Copilot GPTs, Microsoft already gives us some default GPT. By instance, if you would like to create images from words, you could use this designer here, or if you want a vacation planner, you could use this GPT here. The beauty with this is that you can create custom GPT. As you can see here at the bottom, I created one for my French podcast. It is a title generator because I always had to tell Copilot, hey, I'm doing a podcast on the business side of things and stuff. So I don't want to repeat it every time I wanted to find a title for one of my episodes. So today we'll go through how to create a new Copilot GPT and the tips and tricks, and we'll measure the results when you don't have a custom GPT versus when you do. So as you can see here, use the configure or create tool to create a custom Copilot GPT that you can keep private or share. That's the beauty of thing. I'll click here, and then it brings me in the Copilot GPT builder. So you have two options at the top. You can go into configure, which is where you're going to enter your data manually, or you can go with create. In create, I advise you to read these different tips here for creating a quality Copilot GPT. You will learn in this video pretty much all the tips that they give you here, but try to create a short and catchy name that will describe its function so you can find yourself in your own mess when you go back to Copilot. Use clear and unambiguous language, make the prompt specific, use questions or statement, and make sure you have the necessary rights when you upload any content in this. For this very specific example, we could start chatting with Copilot here, but we'll go into configure and I will show you step by step on how to create your own custom GPT. So we will name my GPT, I am a professional accountant and I write emails to clients very often, so let's do it like that. It will be email generator for a professional accounting firm. Here you go. and what the description is. Briefly describe what this Copilot GPT does. This GPT will help me draft professional emails for professional accounting firm clients. Here you go. And then you have instruction in your Copilot GPT here. They ask you instruct your Copilot GPT how to behave, what rules it should follow, what purpose does it serve, does it respond with a certain style. So we'll start typing every line that we want our GPT to keep in mind every time we'll go back to it. So I already typed these instructions in and we'll go over together. We are a professional accounting firm and this GPT will be to draft emails to our clients that are in the banking field. Every time we'll start the email, GPT will take this into account, so we have very professional emails, right? Every email you will draft will be a professional tone, so we don't get sued by our client with like too friendly emails, stuff like that. At the end of every email, I want you to add my professional accountant unique ID, which is 656545. So we have something to remove from our head. Don't need to type it ever again. Make sure to add Professional Accountants Inc. It's a pleasure to serve you at the end of every email. One more thing that we can forget. And also, please use a bullet point format so it is easy to read for my clients and we get the best reply rate on our emails. All of this is really theoretical. You can also use the create tool if it's easier for you. Copilot will also ask you a question. Are you sure? What shall we consider? So maybe it can be easier for your first one if you're not used to it. If we go back to configure, we have a knowledge section. This is very, very powerful because Copilot can take a lot of data on which it will base also his answer. So on top of the instructions you gave him, you will be able to upload a file here. So you can basically add any file if you have the financial statements of specific clients that you want to put in there, maybe to add some data that you want to send to your specific client. If you want to make a specific GPT, each one for each of your client, you could add their previous financial statements. You could ask straight up Copilot, what are the sales from previous year for this client? And it's going to go in the PDF, find this information for you. If you need Copilot to browse through the web, go to Google to find some answers. Maybe not useful for an email, so I will basically uncheck that. But if you will have a different GPT, let's say you are a walking guide tour like I am during the weekend, and you want some Quebec City data, then you could just check that and it will allow Copilot to go search through the web. And the difference between Copilot and ChatGPT is that there is no cutoff for his knowledge. So you can find information from yesterday or 2 days ago. And the last checkbox is actually if you want it to generate image with DALL-E, the image generation system, then you can check this. For my specific case, we probably don't need to add any image for drafting email for a professional accounting firm. So I will leave both of them unchecked pretty much. Once you click on publish, as you can see, you have the link here, and then you can just copy this link and send it to your team so they can access your custom GPT that you just created. All right, to the left, I have a generic GPT, and to the right, I selected my email generator for a professional accounting firm. I typed in both of them the same prompt, draft me an email for a client BMO, and I'll click submit and we'll compare the results to see how my custom GPT is performing. As you can see to the left, it did a really generic email, no bullet points, nothing else. To the right, as we said in our custom GPT, it used some bullet points as we asked it, And as you can see at the very bottom, Professional Accounting Inc., it's a pleasure to serve you, unique ID 656545. So our custom GPT did its job, and we can start a new topic and once again write another email to another client. This course isn't finished yet, but I want to tell you that it's completely free, and there is a button on my YouTube channel called Super Thanks, and I'll leave it like that. Just like that. I'm not asking anything, just, if you happen to have a few bucks, just do it. Cheers. In this video, I'll show you how to really use Copilot to get this solution. So I have an issue here. I have mapping from my accounting accounts here. I have my dates at the top, and what I want to do is actually Excel to do sum if based on my mapping and my dates. So I want to have an interchangeable date here, and it shows my results. So you see the cat 1561. If I had 6 and 1555 here, it give me the results. But if I want to change quickly to the 30th of June, I have my cats and dogs here, and it brings me my mapping. I can't use really index match because I have multiple lines for a single mapping. So I'll show you how to use Copilot in Excel, and you don't need the pro version. You don't need to pay for it. This is absolutely free, and this is actually a real situation I got from a client. So we'll go into Copilot free, and I'll show you how we do this. And for that, I will take this very empty solution and we'll do it together. All right, so I open Copilot on the right pane here, and to the left you have my Excel file. So here we want a sum if based on my criteria here in column F. So I have my cats and dogs, and I have my date on G2, that is the orange cell that I will need to change. I will need to change this date, and it's going to give me back the right sum. So I will need to be very specific when I talk to Copilot. I will tell Copilot, hi, I want to have a summary of my data. The main goal is to change a single date, and it gives me the right sum of the column that this date is located. My data is as follows. In column A, I have my mappings. For now, my mappings are cat and dogs, and they have multiple occurrences, which means I can't use the index and match function because it will give me back only one value. In column B, C, and D, I have my dates. The main goal is to change one date in cell G2, and it is going to give me back the sums of the values below the sums of the values. Let's say it like that. My dates columns B, C, and D, as I told you. More specifically, my headers are starting in B3 to D3. All right, we will see. So I got really specific with the AI. I have a great idea of the index and match, what it does, what it can do. I know for a fact I'm experimented in Excel. I know that index and match can only give me back one value. So I gave a lot of data to the AI to see if it's going to work. And let's see what the AI gives me. Based on your description, it sounds like you want to sum the values in a column based on the date that you specify in cell G2. Since you have multiple occurrence of cats and dogs in column A, you can't use the index and match function. Instead, you can use the sum if function in Excel, which allows you to sum values based on multiple criteria. Here's an example of how you can do this. It gives me the sum if of cat, sum if of cat, and sum if of cat. The AI didn't quite understand. I would love to have only one function that would use both sum ifs and index and match, and change which sum it gives me based on the date located in cell G2. I think this should work, to be honest with you. But you know, AI is not always right. And here you go. All right, it gives me two sum if. Could we make this only one formula? Question mark. Because now it gave me two formulas. Oh, here you go. I think we have something good here. I think we have something good. All right. And now it gives me sum if, index, gives me a very long formula, right? What I don't like from the AI it gives me is that it gives me cats and dogs at the end. I will tell him my criteria that I want to search for is located in cell F3. By example, the cat is in cell F3. Can you make a better function with this, please? And we're going to see. Absolutely. Here you go. And then I think it's gonna work, party people. I know with AI, it seems complicated. I had a really good understanding of Excel. I knew what it wanted to do. And here you go. I just copy the code and we're gonna try it here. And it's gonna put, here you go, 13. And if I just drag it down, or actually I won't drag it down, I'll just copy paste it and change for dogs. So here we go. I have my 5 for dogs, which is these cells right here, and I have my 13 for cat. Now I'm done with AI. Thank you, AI. You made it happen. It took me a few discussions with the AI. I hope it's going to be clear on video. But what I want to do here actually is just now add a data validation. So I go into data. I click on data validation. I click on list here. And for the source, I will just select my different dates. Click on OK. And I won't even explain the formula. It just basically makes the sum ifs and index match. That's not really the goal of this video. You can go back. It explains it for you. So now I added my drop down menu. And when I just switch my dates, here we go. I put May of 31st. It gives me 1561, which is the addition of those two blue cells here. And for the dogs, it gives me 25, which is the addition of these pink cells here. And then I put it in June, and here we go. We have my results. So pretty simple. If I just want to add another column, you know what to do. You change your ranges here and everything should fit. So this is how you use AI Copilot in Excel. You don't need to pay for Copilot. It was maybe a little bit complicated, but if you're advanced in Excel, you don't need to pay. If you are a beginner in Excel, I will advise you pay for Copilot Pro, which is right here. It gives you access to Copilot straight up in Excel. The only thing is that it only works on table. And here in this case, my data was not in table. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Copilot, I have a masterclass available that will cover way more things on Copilot. It will include additional tips and tricks, infographics, practicals example, and much more. The link is right here and it is in the description as well. I hope you enjoyed this intermediate tutorial and see you on the other side.
I'm sorry for any confusion, but as an AI, I don't have the ability to make phone calls. However, I can certainly help